Hey everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Upcycled Adulting, where I am here to help you grow to accomplish your goals, create healthy habits, and overcome obstacles. Today, we're going to be talking about how to stay on track with your goals. Now, listen, this is something that I know a whole lot about. I know how hard it is to stay on track when you're trying to accomplish your goals. Now, back when I was setting goals and I wasn't actually able to stay on track, I thought I was the only one. Now, it turns out that about 90+% of people actually give up on their goals or New Year's resolutions because, y'all, it's not easy. So, over time, I created something called the small step method because I came to recognize that either I was missing the gene that is self discipline, willpower, and ongoing motivation, or those things weren't real to begin with. And throughout my years coaching, what I've actually found out is that basically everyone struggles with that because it doesn't work. Now, if you want to know more about that, you can check out my video that is specifically about self discipline, willpower, and motivation and what to do instead. But today, what I want to talk about is how to stay on track with your goals. Now, listen, this is going to work for you whether you have started a goal already or you haven't. You're just thinking, gosh, it would be really nice to go after a goal and actually be successful this time because in the past, that hasn't really been my experience. So, I'm going to share a few things with you. These are the steps of my proprietary small step method, which I teach to people all the time. And I have to tell you that it has an incredible and insane success rate at not only helping people accomplish their goals, but it has this incredible ripple effect that will improve every single part of your life. Like over 20% of people who practice the small step method find themselves with raises and promotions at work and scaling their businesses, even when that's not their goal. They find themselves with improved marriages and relationships, even when that's not their goal, because the small step method really works to change not just what you're doing related to your goal, but what you're doing in your everyday life and how you think about yourself. And that makes a huge difference. Mindset, y'all, is everything. And the small step method is proven time again to create momentum and a growth mindset and to build tons and tons of confidence. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, the very, very first step of the small step method is to change your beliefs. And what does that mean? That means changing that dialogue in your head. If you're like me and you struggle with negative self talk and limiting beliefs, maybe you have learned these from your family of origin. Maybe they've been modeled to you, right? This is how adults talk to themselves. And you kind of get stuck in this loop. This is absolutely essential. The best way to change your beliefs, scientifically speaking, is affirmations. Now, I know some of you may have tried affirmations in the past and they may not have worked for you. A lot of the teaching around affirmations is incredibly inaccurate. I dig into how to practice affirmations really properly and well so that they rewire your brain in my goal mastery class. But the thing that I want to tell you here as the biggest tip to get started with is making sure that your affirmations are unique and believable to you. That means not collecting your affirmations on Pinterest or on that super cute Instagram, but creating affirmations that really resonate deeply with you and repeating them to yourself in front of a mirror. Now, listen, I always thought affirmations were really silly. I am a Gen Xer. I grew up watching Saturday Night Live, and I thought of Stuart Smalley as soon as I thought of affirmations. And by the way, y'all can Google that. You will find all kinds of Stuart Smalley content, and it's pretty hilarious. It kind of is making fun of personal development and affirmations specifically. But here's the thing that I learned. Affirmations actually aren't silly at all. They have scientifically proven through the use of MRIs that affirmations change the way that your brain is wired. They change the routing in your brain. And after many years of practicing affirmations, what I found for myself is that I've changed my internal dialogue to positive self talk and to empowering beliefs through the use of affirmations. And I have to tell you, my clients tell me the same thing has happened for them. Takes a little bit of time, but usually within a couple weeks, you'll actually start to really feel a difference. And literally, it takes less than a minute a day. So you can 100% do this. When it comes to staying on track with your goals, one of the things that can be really beneficial when you're creating affirmations is creating one or two affirmations that's really specific to your goal. That way, it will wire into your brain that you're completely capable of doing that thing and that you are committed to that thing, right? It makes the whole goal and all the change you're undergoing a little less overwhelming, a little less stressful, and a lot less scary. And that deeply and truly matters. The second part of the small step method is to change your actions. Now, most of the time when people aren't accomplishing their goals, it's because they are taking massive action, right? Massive action. They are shooting for the moon. I remember I had a recurring weight loss goal for years and years and years. And my goal was always I'm going to go to the gym 2 hours a day. I'm never going to eat a carb again, right? I'm not going to eat sugar ever again in my life. Um, I'm going to go to sleep at a certain time. Well, y'all, I have 5 children, including 2 special needs kids. I am a very busy working mom. The way I was setting myself up to accomplish my goals just honestly wasn't possible inside my life. And even if I could have continued to do those things until I reached my goal, there is literally no way I could have maintained that. Right. And because I couldn't maintain that, as is true with almost all weight loss goals that are achieved, I would have gained all the weight back and then some, because that's how that works, y'all. It's better to create what I call small steps. Small steps are little things that you do to help you accomplish your goal. Now, I like to create a couple different categories of small steps. I like to create habits and routines that are small steps, meaning adding a simple little habit into my day to day life. And I also like to create what I call turbocharged small steps, which are projects or one off things that give you that immediate shot of dopamine and happiness because you got that thing done. You can cross it off your goal list. That feels so good. So, thinking about and focusing on small steps to change your actions is absolutely the path to accomplish your goals. Where I see people struggling the most with small steps is in two areas. One is that the step is not small enough. All right. So, for example, with a health or a weight loss goal, a lot of us want to create that small step that we're going to get up in the morning and work out every day. And we feel like that's not that big of a deal, except that when we have to get up earlier, that means that our first small step is about gradually changing our sleep schedule, not actually getting out of bed, putting on shoes, and going to the gym or hitting our home gym for a workout. We need to actually give ourselves the time to acclimate to this new schedule. That's the first small step. Oftentimes, what I see people trying to do is wedge pieces into their already existing life. Your life is busy already. So, the first small step that a lot of us need to take is actually just creating the time in our schedule to do small steps, right? That might mean waking up 10 minutes earlier until we are up early enough to incorporate a small step. That might mean staying up 10 minutes later. That might mean clearing 10 minutes of stuff from our schedules because most of us are way too overscheduled. I know for me, a huge thing that really helped me was actually time tracking. Before I started working on any goals, I needed to know where my time was going so I could figure out where I could fit in my goal work. Because while my life was incredibly busy and demanding, I discovered that there were lots of spaces that I could designate for goal work if I was prioritizing it over things like people pleasing, sometimes a little too much Netflix, things like that. So, really getting clear on creating really small, doable steps is really, Really vitally important. And then the third and final step of the small step method is changing your results. Part of how we change our results is by changing our perspective of what our results are. All right. Now go with me here because this is really unique and it's very, very different. But one of the biggest things that impacts our results being changed and our ability to stay on track is accomplishment journaling. Accomplishment journaling matters more than you could possibly imagine. And the reason why accomplishment journaling matters so much is because it creates something called momentum. Momentum is actually the secret sauce to accomplishing your goals, to staying on track. Rather than trying to keep that motivation going, momentum means that it's just already going, right? It's already moving. You just need to get on board and go with it because it's already going, right? And when we have an awareness of our wins, when we have an awareness of our results on a daily basis, of our intent, of our input, of our activity, of our progress, we feel really great about what we're doing. It makes it so easy to stay on track when you feel good about it. The truth of the matter is that everyone knows, right? This has been being studied, I have to tell you, for many, many years, like many years. Everyone knows that the best way to get people motivated is through positive reinforcement. Positive reinforcement. And those of us who are moms, we know this. The easiest way to get your kids to clean up their toys is to make it a game, to make it fun. The easiest way to get them to engage in something is to praise them, right? That's the easiest way to change behavior, is catch people to being good. Animal trainers know this and they use this as well. One time I was at a park. I was doing a dolphin experience with my husband, and they were talking about this specifically, that this is what's used for animal training. Now, they did rehab with dolphins, and they were wanting to use these dolphins for various therapies for people. And so, what they were talking about is how they train them to socialize, how they train them to do various things. And they said, what we do a lot of times is we watch for the behavior we want, and then we give them treats when they do that behavior. That is how we can train them, right? This is the same thing as when you're potty training your new puppy. You praise them when they go potty outside. It works way better than punishing them when they have an accident in the house. Correct? And we all know this about a lot of other things, but when it comes to ourselves, we feel like self discipline requires a degree of punishment. And that punishment, that frustration, right? That self-abuse is going to get us to do the thing. If we just get mad enough at ourselves, we'll get motivated. If we just shame ourselves enough, we'll get motivated. That's not true at all. The best way to keep momentum going and to stay on track is to be mindful of our current results, our current progress, to be able to see that we are actually making progress, that what we're doing matters, that it's making a difference in our lives, that we feel good, that we feel proud of ourselves and successful. Then you want to do it again. Because seriously, there aren't very many things. I would argue there's nothing better than feeling proud of yourself. Nothing better than putting your head on the pillow at night and feeling like, dang, look at me go. It makes all the difference in the world. And then the next day, when you're thinking about skipping your goal work, or you're thinking about, do I really have time for that? The memory of that success, of that result, of that excitement is going to get you to do it, not yelling at yourself. That doesn't work, y'all. That doesn't work. And so if we just shift to this space where we say, how can I support myself? How can I love myself? How can I get myself excited about this? How can I get momentum going? Well, that's an accomplishment journey. So if you want to stay on track with your goals, if you want to set a goal and get started strong, or you want to stay on track with the goals you're currently pursuing, but you're starting to feel like you're losing steam, those are the 3 things you need to do. Create affirmations, preferably a couple specific to your goal. Use small steps. Stop trying to reach for the moon. Stop going in all or nothing. Stop setting yourself up for failure. You want to set yourself up for success so that you can change your results, so you can create momentum, so that you have a record of wins that will propel you forward. We have to stop relying on something as fleeting as motivation and as detrimental and damaging as willpower and self-discipline. We need to lean into creating that momentum, feeling proud of ourselves, and wanting to keep feeling proud of ourselves. And just as a little bonus tip, I want to remind everyone that, again, using the small step method tends to have ripple effects into every area of your life because of the way that it builds confidence, the way that you start to show up in your life when you feel proud of yourself, when you feel purposeful, when you have a sense of clarity and intention. And keeping in your accomplishment journal the other wins that you're seeing in your life will also help you stay on track. Okay? So be mindful of those wins across the board. Be mindful of the way that you're modeling something different to your kids. Be mindful of how exciting it is to show up confidently at work and to be recognized for your contribution. Be mindful of your newfound ability to create boundaries or to communicate your needs. These things matter, and in the big picture of you accomplishing this goal or any goal in your life, these things are foundational. You can do this. You can stay on track and you can accomplish your goals. You are absolutely amazing, and you deserve to live the life that you have been dreaming of. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel. I will be sharing so much more about how to accomplish your goals, healthy habits, and how to overcome obstacles, and you do not want to miss a single thing. Bye, everyone.